Welcome to It's All Fine and Dangy, where we talk about community, health, culture, and all of the big and little things that make life good. Here are your hosts, Dan and Angie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 78 of the It's All Fine and Dangy podcast. We are excited to have our guest on this evening, who we've had on before, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. We have Violet Favero. She is a children's book author. We've had some great conversation with her before.
We have Silly YaYa, you guys may remember.
Silly YaYa, with multitudes of other books under her belt now. She also is the runner. I cannot talk tonight. She is the owner of YaYa's Market, which has some really cool stuff on it. And she is a passionate advocate for ovarian cancer awareness. So thank you so much for joining us. Excuse all my mumbling tonight. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have my wine tonight. What's going on? Like just water? What is up?
Pour that wine, girl. Pour that wine.
I know. Gosh, why didn't I pour it tonight?
Why didn't we?
I don't know why.
We're literally drinking water tonight. Yeah.
Me too.
So how are you?
I'm great, and thank you so much for having me back. I had a blast with you guys the first time we met at a library, as I recall.
That was an awesome day.
Yeah.
We did back-to-back interviews, and to be in that setting with two authors that we interviewed that day was you were episode 41, and you were...
Wow, you remember that. That's
amazing. It was in December.
Wow, that's a great memory.
Yeah, it was a little while ago.
But we, in all honesty, we promised not to do this the whole time, but we had a blast with you too. And you and I have been on like some author calls since then. But after we talked to you, after you left, we were like, wow, she was awesome. We had so much fun. We've gotten your book since then. And we're big fans. So we appreciate having you back on the show. We appreciate you coming back on. You are one of the very few repeat guests we've ever had.
Wow, so, I feel honored. Thank you.
Well, so do we. Definitely.
And, since we last saw you in December, we have officially became grandparents.
That is the most exciting thing ever. Is it not the most magical kind of love?
It is very special. It was a weird time, though, because, normally we'd be at the hospital. You get that excitement for the babies being born, and COVID crept in and changed all that.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get to see her till... I think she was like a week old when we finally went over.
Yeah.
The dynamic was a little different, but a time we'll always remember, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
But we go over every chance we can, of course, and we were just over this past Sunday and got to spend some time with her. Now she's like opening her eyes and, cooing and she's so cute. And she was a month early, so when she was first home, she was just, still kind of like, hey, I'm still growing. I don't really want to interact with you. But she's healthy and safe and beautiful. Of course, she's the prettiest baby in the world. You know how that goes.
Absolutely. You bet she is, and she is.
Well, and it's funny too. I don't know if it's a grandpa or a danpa thing in this case, but I don't want to say it's all guys, but for me, when they're brand new, they're super cute, but they don't really, they don't know. I feel like they don't know I'm there. So now she's getting to the point, like the last time we just went over this past weekend, where I can talk to her and she just looks at me and she starts kicking her legs when I'm talking to her and holding on to my finger. And then when I stop talking, she stops kicking her legs. And then when I start, she does it again. I'm like, cool. Oh, it's beginning now. Now there's like that connection you could feel. So
see, she has begun the process of wrapping you around her little finger.
I totally know. I keep saying, when are we getting Disney passes? What age is too young to get Disney passes? I can't wait.
Yeah. So just throw all your money out the window now. That's how that's going to go.
With him, I'm more like, hey, let's go out in the woods and see what dragons we can find. And he, that's what I told him. I said, I'm going to be like the one that takes her on adventures. And he goes, and I said, yeah, we're going to go find dragons. And he goes, yeah, imaginary dragons. I'm going to take her to Universal to see real dragon. I'm like, oh, what are you doing?
Oh, well, that's perfect. She'll get the best of both worlds.
She'll get a good mix. Yeah.
She definitely will.
So we also wanted to congratulate you on your book, Pete Comes to America.
Thank you.
Because you've gotten some awesome recognition from that one.
Yes, I have. I'm just beyond thrilled with that. You know, I wrote that to tell my grandfather's immigration story. And at a time when the word immigration was so politicized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt brave, really, to do that at that time. And it has had just amazing recognition. I was featured in the National Herald, which is the world's largest English edition Greek newspaper. It's in the United States, Australia, Europe.
Wow.
Yeah. And so even telling you that, I'm like covered in goosebumps.
I didn't even realize it was that big. Like I thought, United States, but it is all over the place. That is awesome.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so ironic, and so that you have me on today and that you mentioned that today would have been my grandfather's 120 something birthday.
Wow.
So today on my YaYa's Market, anyone who goes on my website and makes a specific kind of purchase gets a free copy of the book, just because it's my grandfather's birthday. So I'm just giving books away today.
Oh, that's
signed
amazing.
books. Yeah,
But you're getting that story in more people's hand, and
that's
especially
exactly
a child's
why.
hand, so that they kind of feel like their story can be told through that book.
Right. And then, I had all these grandiose plans. Actually, I was booked for all kinds of Greek churches and historical societies, and then COVID came. So I had a teacher ask me, a librarian, to make a virtual learning program. I did
Very cool.
And have available teachers with PDF files, because we all have an immigration story, right?
Some of us just know it a little
than
better.
Others.
Yeah.
Right. But it's to get people talking, to, talk about where did your family come from, and to embrace it and be proud. And for kids to say, hey, Pete was anxious when he came to America. It smelled different. Think about that. Right?
Oh, wow, that's true.
Right. But think about that. My grandfather came from an island in the Aegean Sea, and then he arrives at Ellis Island, and then, you go from the island right into the city. And imagine what that smelled like with Irish immigrants and German immigrants and Italian immigrants. The food was different. Everything is different. So, he talked about it smelled different than Greece. So,
makes sense.
So I'm hoping that it helps kids who are recent immigrants say, hey, I felt like that too.
Yeah, it gives them something to identify with.
Yeah.
And you know what I love is that your family has kept that story alive. That has been passed down. I don't have a lot of that in my family. And it's funny that you said that you kind of wrote this book to get people talking. Me and Dan were just talking about this the other night. We don't really know that much. It wasn't passed down to us, which we wish it would have been.
Right.
So we talked about for Christmas, maybe doing the Ancestry.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah, and start kind of building our family tree so that, we have a granddaughter now, start telling our story and make it a tradition to do that, because it's so lost. It's really lost.
It is. It's so important. And Ancestry and ellisisland.org also just have a wealth of records and information. I couldn't find the ship manifest for my grandfather and then my great grandparents, and I tried everything, and I said, well, maybe they came in through Boston, maybe he was confused or whatever. But my grandfather and his 3 siblings that came over at the same time with him, their last name was different. They have my family's name is Anagnosto, and it was Chatsi Anagnosto, and we looked that up, and that's a term of honor, which means you were either baptized in the Jordan River or you made the trip to Mecca. Well, because my family was Greek Orthodox, they didn't then make the trip to Mecca, so they had to have been baptized in the Jordan River. So there were things that I didn't even know. And then when I went back and found my grandfather's naturalization papers, that's how he signed his name, with that Chotzi in front of it.
Oh, wow. So you really had to do digging and research to write this book.
Even though I had tremendous amount of information, there were still things that I didn't know and things that I had to find out. And then when I wrote the book, of course, I wanted it to be historically correct. So even the costumes that the dancers are wearing in it are authentic to the year 1910 and the island of Lesbos in Greece. So I did. It's the first book I've ever had to do research on, and it was my own story, right?
That is, it's a children's book, but I appreciate that you wanted that accuracy because, you wanted them to actually learn the traditions of your grandfather, where he came from, what it looked like, where he came from, and why he would say something like that.
Right, exactly.
And it smells different. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
It has to be gratifying too to start finding information about him. I mean, when we do Ancestry, I guess we'll get a better feel for this. But historically, my grandfather tried to do some research about our family, and this is kind of pre-internet research. And it's it's a lot of dead ends. You run into a lot of dead ends. So when I hear you say that you found this or you found that, or the little details about what you were able to discover, it's I just picture every discovery being like, wow, like a super exciting thing that you didn't know.
Yeah, you're gonna, once you get on that Ancestry website, you're just gonna and the Ellis Island, you're just gonna be lost. Like you're gonna just forget, oh my God, I've been doing this for 5 hours. It's
right.
So
that's what I picture. That's exactly what I picture.
Yeah, it's how it will be.
So in the Herald that you were in, it brought out, I read in there that you're thinking about doing a series when Pete Comes to America.
I am.
That is awesome.
I thought, why stop there? Why not go on to then when Pete became an adult? And I don't want to give away the end of the book, but how he lived his life as a successful American who he lived the American dream. Right. And then he went on, to get married and raise a family. And then the successes and the things that his children did, the success that they had. This could be a whole nother podcast, but my father was in the famous Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus fire in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And my father had a knife and he slit a hole in the back of the tent and people jumped down behind the bleachers and escaped. Had my family not immigrated from Greece, et cetera, right, my dad would have been there all the way then to me, right? So the things that I've done in my life, and then through to my son who last summer went to Greece and hiked the summit of Mount Olympus. So it kind of went full circle. So I see it as a book series, and I also see it as a children's television or cartoon series. It doesn't matter what country you immigrated from when you're a kid. This is this point that's so important for me.
Sure.
If you could see that somebody else looked different than everyone else and someone else felt that way, and the stories could just go on and on. But so I've already written the second book. I've got to get it illustrated and do some things. And of course, the illustrations in Pete Comes to America are kind of sepia tones, which are right. That's how it is. That's how it was. And then the illustrations, of course, will evolve as the time evolves through the 40s, the 50s, the 70s, etc. Yeah.
You've thought that out. But it really does come full circle because you are, your son went to Greece to do that because you've really instilled this, appreciation for your culture and your heritage.
Yeah. When you're Greek, like you're so proud that you're Greek. I don't know if you watched the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh yes.
Sure,
but the father was like, every word comes from Greek. Tell me a word, I'll give you the Greek. And
is that the movie where
it down.
he says just spray Windex on
yes,
it?
yeah.
That's that one.
So, but that's really how it is, though. I mean, there's just this immense pride in being Greek. And so, and so again, even though our story is Greek, it's for all kids. And my YouTube presentation that I did, the virtual learning, it talks about all kids. And I've got pictures of kids that look like everyone else. I have all kids. I say to them, no matter what you look like, what color your skin is or where your story started, we're all the same. And then they print out their family tree and they fill it out. And I tell them to ask your grandparents. And so it's a great bonding thing as well for the kids with the parents and the grandparents. So so I see all this. So I'm on the hunt for somebody to go ahead and do this for me. So
let's get this cartoon going. Come on.
Yeah, I'm still looking. Yeah,
that seems like such a good fit, and it seems like it would be an endless amount of opportunities for each episode. You could do episodes that are focusing on his experiences, being new in the country or learning, how to
just going to school and not speaking English.
Right.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea you could even integrate like other people that have come from other countries and that he meets. And
that's what I'm going to do. Absolutely. Yeah. That's how I see it, so that every immigrant child
is represented, kind of. Yeah.
Right. He's represented. He belongs. He's like, yo, Pete, I feel that same way. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It smells so weird here. What are these people cooking?
What did your country smell like? And then you start talking about that.
You just think about it. Suddenly, these children who have nothing in common have everything in comming. We have this commonality, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And what I like about that is a lot of things, but a big thing I like about that is, without getting political, I feel like kids watching that kind of show would better come to understand how really we're all kind of immigrants, because I bet in certain waves of society, at certain times in society, I would imagine that immigrant children feel like they stick out or like they don't fit in. And to know that we're really all immigrants in one way or another, I think would be a great message for them to get from each episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, in the town that they immigrated to, my maternal grandmother's family had already been there. And my maternal grandmother's parents met each other in English school.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So
crazy.
They had nothing in common. My grandmother was Italian.
Okay.
My Greek grandparents were like, you cannot marry that Italian girl. and the Italians like, you can't marry that Greek, so see? Yeah.
Yeah. And it happened anyway.
Yeah, it did. Ta-da!
Ta-da! So I want to talk a little bit, since we're talking about Greece. I want to talk about your YaYa's market, because you stick stick true to your heritage and culture there, and really your products. I want you to tell us where your products come from. There we go. So, that's what I'm trying to get out.
Yeah. So I'm like this crazy all over the place lady. So Silly YaYa, YaYa, is my author character, and I'm a grandmother character, and I'm Silly YaYa because we spell grandmother incorrectly. Greek YaYa is YiaYia. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm silly, because I didn't spell it right. That's the thing. So I
don't think you told us that the first interview. I don't think so. That's cool.
Right. So that's the whole premise, to be Silly YaYa. So And anytime I go somewhere that's like all Greek, they say, you spell your name wrong. No. It's, you got to read the book. You'll understand.
Oh,
you know
I
what
bet.
Read
Everyone's trying to correct you.
Yeah. So anyway, but my YaYa's market is spelled the traditional way, YiaYia.
Mm-hmm.
And so how that happened was I was a vendor at Greek festivals. And COVID came and I had all these products and no festivals to go to. What am I going to do? I know. I'll start a webpage.
Yeah.
So I did. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. And then I met Elaine, the most wonderful retail business partner. Lo and behold, families from Lesbos, Greece as well. This must be meant to be. Right there,
Wow.
I don't know, 1,000 islands in Greece, and her families are from the same island.
Same one.
Right.
Wow.
So she hooked me up with some artists. So I import ceramics products that are made in the island of Lesbos, the island where my grandfather was born.
Oh, wow.
And and I have those for sale on my market. I have other products that other artists who are not from Lesbos make. And so what we're doing, and I'm kind of following Elaine's model for her business, is supporting Greek in small villages. So this year, Greece has had virtually no tourism, and their artists and all these small villages are struggling. There's a great need. Actually, one of my artists had to go work in the fields because there were tourists to buy her ceramics. So, so I'm supporting these small families on these small islands. And when you, the consumer, buy something from me, you're supporting these small artisans. And then I have other touristy stuff. Like if you went into the shops in Athens, you would find towels and pot holders and aprons. And so I import all of those from Greece as well. Everything in my market is either made in Greece, imported from Greece, or made by a Greek USA company. So I have wooden spoons that are in Greek that say, I love YaYa. One of them says, you're going to taste wood. It's like a Greek thing. I'm going to beat your butt with the wooden spoon. Those are made in Chicago by a Greek artist. So, so actually right now I have these amazing pieces that are on their way from an artist named Felicia. And she's in Athens, and she was born in Greece. Her family moved to Canada when she was a kid, and she moved back to Greece. And so it's fabulous. So I'm supporting her small business.
Love it.
And so it's just really exciting for me that it's a piece of my heritage almost when I bring these products in.
Yeah, you're
and then
touching
I have
these products that were handmade by people that live in the town that your grandfather was from. This is crazy.
Like, what if my grandfather walked down the street, or what if my grandfather's cousin lived in the house they live in, or like something crazy like that? What if that, what if? So, so what started out as this tiny little off thing, it's really grown. I'm doing very well, and I've made so many new friends, and I've got new artists on board that I'm helping support, and I've got some really cool things coming up in the next few weeks that I'm super excited about.
Oh, I love that.
That is amazing.
And I'm going to send you some of my Greek salad dressing mix and my all-purpose Greek seasoning. So, you sent us home with some of that last time, and did I send you home with the salad dressing?
Yeah. Oh,
but not the
I don't remember the salad. That's my favorite salad. I would remember that.
No, maybe not. Okay,
I would remember. I think
you would remember.
That's the salad I always order everywhere.
Okay, never mind. Send it on.
Listen. Now you're going to have your own fresh Greek salad dressing with no preservatives. It's all the ingredients. Just add your vinegar, olive oil, and lemon juice.
Oh, I'm starving.
That makes me happy. No preservatives. Well, we love that you're doing that, because that is one of the things we like to do is support local art, musicians, businesses, small businesses.
Yeah.
That is really one of our huge focuses. So we
It's
love
so
that.
important.
Like you're taking it you didn't let COVID bring you down. You're like,
No.
okay, well, let's see what I can do.
Well, so I have a question.
And then you brought it international. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Super impressive.
Like COVID's international. So am I. That's exactly what she did right there.
So when we talked to you last time, you told us about how you go to schools and how you do a lot of meet and greets with kids. And so I wondered, with COVID, are you doing?
Look at her face right now.
I know. Are you doing anything virtual? Or
I have the biggest broken heart right now. Because I had like 6 last year. I had 6 schools that I couldn't see in New England.
Last year.
For this year, that I was going to have to see this year, and I had over 20 library programs for the summer that had to get canceled. School, town library programs. And I do those for free. I go in and do that for free. And all those were canceled. These poor kids have got it's been a tough time for them, you know?
It really has,
and so, so I've done some virtual things, but right now the teachers are they're struggling to try to deal with everything that's happening. And the last thing they need is some author to be going, knock, knock, hello, do you have time for me? I want to come get your kids excited about reading. Yeah. But, they're just trying to keep their heads above water right now. When they're ready, I'm here. I'm good to go in 5 seconds.
I would think that may be one angle of it. I can't imagine being a teacher right now. But another angle of it is it could be that some teachers, you're helping them, because I know, even with my own daughter doing some of this, some of the teachers are just trying to figure out how to, how to balance and what, it's a different way to teach for them, because some of them are doing not just virtual, but they're teaching kids in the classroom while half of the kids are watching on a webcam. So it's a weird sort of mix.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so hard. And next week, the Brevard County Library System is having me come and read my books, and they're going to record me for their virtual library programs for the kids.
Wow.
So that's great that they're doing that. That's awesome.
Anyone who wants me to do anything like that, I'm spot on. I'm right there. I'm available. I just like.
You just miss them, though.
I'm just so excited. I go to these school visits, and the kids are high-fiving me, and they're hugging me when they're leaving after this.
Oh.
And I got to admit, I got author eye off that, yes, I got through to them, and they're like, are you coming back? And, it's like that. It's just like a driving force, to keep going when I get discouraged.
I know.
So,
because they're looking forward to it. So you're
absolutely.
like, okay, I gotta, they're in that, and they're only, the kids you're visiting are only in that, what am I trying to say? You only have them for a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, I got to get another book out so I keep them interested and engaged.
And there's this finite amount of time to get them to love reading. Yeah. And I always say there are a few ways to get kids to love reading. Read to your kids. When you're reading to your kids, they have your undivided attention. What does that undivided attention mean? Love.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great point.
No, you equate reading with love. Come on. How brilliant is that, right?
It is brilliant. And now more than ever, I've seen it with my own kids. It is hard for them. It's hard for mine are teenagers, but, teenagers these days don't read. And from what I hear, there's a trend growing in all of that where their attention span is so quick, little snippets of things. Yeah. So I love the idea of programming your kids in a good way.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does it. And it does it to all of us adults, too. It's
me too.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, though? We have a bookshelf that we started at the house. And I have one shelf. We call it Health on a Shelf because I'm into health and wellness. So I've got all these health and wellness books.
Yep.
Then Dan has his author books and the books, his, prized possession books that he loves to read over and over again or has in the past. And then we have a readers or leaders shelf that's going to be for the baby.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
the first book on that shelf is still YaYa because it's got our names in it.
Well, I got to make sure you get the rest of them. I'll get them to you.
I will definitely get those on that shelf for her so that when when she's over, we will be grabbing. That will be part of the visit to Grangie and Dampa's house.
What's funny is
reading time.
Angie put the books on the bottom shelf for her so she can reach them right away too. So it's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I just love that because readers are our leaders. And then my tagline is raising readers one book at a time.
I love that.
And something that I find is when the kids start to get where they have to read or they get at school and they've got to read. Oh, I don't like to read because they're not reading the right books. So parents, don't give up. They're not reading the right books. Find the right book for them.
Find the one they're interested in.
Let them read graphic novels. Let them read what they love, and they will love reading. So keep trying. I think kids give up too soon.
Yeah, I think even another example there is my daughter. Now they're starting to get into stuff she has to read about, like the Old West. And she sent me a text today and said they're reading about ghosts now and, where that initiated from. And she's into all that. So she normally might not be interested in reading it. And now she's really into reading this. So it's totally what you just said.
Right.
If it's the topic that you like, if it's the story that you like, that's a big factor because if you're forced to read stuff that you don't like, you might associate all reading that with,
Correct.
Not being
and now if she discovers, what? There's this genre out there? You mean there are like 5,000 books or 50,000 books about ghosts? I had no idea. Right now you love to read.
Right.
That's how it happens.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I have one of your books that I can't wait to get for my daughter-in-law for Mother's Day next year is Mom, Mom, Mommy.
Oh my gosh.
What else do you need to say? The title says everything.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
It is absolute perfect. So if anyone is looking for a Mother's Day gift or a baby shower gift, this book is appropriate for anyone who has ever had a child.
Yep.
Anyone who has ever tried to go to the bathroom alone. That picture in the book of the mom trying to go to the bathroom is my favorite ever. I made a limited edition Mother's Day greeting card when that came out. That I gave away with that picture.
It's true.
It was like, can I write a book with so few words? Yes, I can. Because that's all that it
words that you hear.
Say.
In whatever variation they can make it. Ma, Mommy, Mama, whatever they can call you,
To this day, you get,
or Dad.
You get texts from your 20-something that just says, Mom. Yeah, that's the whole text.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
With a pause. Like they're just waiting. Yes. I'm like,
yes.
Carry on. Move it along. Like, tell me what you need. And it could be 3 days later I respond to it. What in the heck? You think I literally am waiting? Oh, yes.
Right.
Yeah. When are they going to reach out?
Yes.
No.
Oh, my God. No, I know. In all the reviews on this book, the mothers were like, oh, my God, I'm guilty. Yes. Oh, my, this happens to me every day. How did you know this was my life?
And that was that's been an Amazon bestseller and #1 new release, correct?
Yes, it was.
Girl, you are doing it. I'm telling you are making things happen.
I know. I'm like, oh God, I can't believe it.
You have that right mindset and you're doing it for the right reasons, and that's why it's coming to you.
And it's really good work. I mean, it's spot on.
Yeah, and my illustrator that I use, Chrissy Schram. I told her what I wanted, and this girl can interpret me. It's like she is inside my brain. She is just amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. When you find the right illustrator that you really mesh with and you have a good synergy, that really takes it to the next level because, there's words on a page, but then there's the visualization of it. And, that's what your eye goes to first when you look at a book is, the graphics.
Yeah. And what makes it tough for me is because I'm also an illustrator. Mm-hmm. So I see exactly how I want it to look.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's true.
And so sometimes she'll say to me, yeah, I don't see it that way. And so I'll be like, uh-oh.
Okay.
And
There we
so I'll
go.
be like, all right, well, send me a picture of how you see it. And I'm going to tell you, she's always spot on. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So-
That is great.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. We'll find. We'll put a link to her.
Yeah, of
if
course.
she
I
has a
was just
page
writing
or
that down.
something.
Yeah.
She does.
We should
Yeah.
be able to find her. If not, I'll reach out and we'll get her information so we can
Okay,
share
yeah.
that. Definitely.
Yeah, she does a great comic strip as well. That she's got a little series that's hysterical.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice. We'll have to post a link to that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is awesome.
yeah.
All right, so I want to change gears a little bit.
Okay.
So this month it's September, and we know we have a lot of awarenesses in each and every month, but this month is something that is very near and dear to your heart, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
And I said in the beginning that you're a passionate advocate for this. So can you just tell us a little bit of the story behind why you do want to bring so much awareness to this issue?
Yeah, absolutely. So, go back really, yeah. When I was going to be called YaYa, you could go to a Hallmark store and get a frame that said Grandma, maybe a few other names, but nothing that said YaYa. And I was like, I'm going to write a book about unusual grandparent names. And she's like, yeah, you should do that. And so I wrote it. I wrote it down, and I never did anything with it. And so my girlfriend Kay died of ovarian cancer after a 10-year battle. We had been best friends for 25 years.
Wow.
Immediately after she died, I had this sense of urgency, this overwhelming sense that I had to get the book done, that somehow I failed her, but I just hadn't gotten it done. So I got the book done, and inside of the book is a teal ribbon. Angie, I don't know if you noticed that in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And teal is the color for Ovarian Cancer Awareness. And she, sorry, she died in September. The 20th of this month will be 6 years.
Wow.
And every September, I donate 50% of my profits of the sale of my book, Silly YaYa, to ovarian cancer research. And I've done that since she died, since the book was published. Yeah. And as if that wasn't bad enough, my sister-in-law was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and she lived less than 2 years. She passed in November.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
so
I think you mentioned that on the last
show.
show.
So you would think, right? So every year on my social media, I post signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer. I'm like in your face, and it's everywhere. And so how did my sister-in-law get ovarian cancer? And not how did she get it, but how did it get that advanced? I'm always telling everybody, what are the signs and the symptoms? Because ovarian cancer is silent, and it's sneaky, and it's evil. I'm going to give you the symptoms. Can I do that?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to talk about that a little bit, because I know about it, but probably am not as aware as you are, of course. But the symptoms are things that women go through all the time.
Bingo. And that's why it's so sneaky, because when I'm going to read these to you, every single female listening is going to say, oh my gosh, I have that. I have that.
Can I tell you, before we started the interview and I was reading Angie's questions, I saw the symptoms, and all of a sudden I'm getting all nervous for like my daughter. So you're right. That you're like every one of the check boxes, I'm going, yes, 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 all the way down.
Yeah.
And they're so vague. So bloating. Okay.
Yep. Every time bloating. I eat something salty, Yep. Okay.
Pelvic or abdominal pain. Yep.
Unexplainable. Don't know why.
Yep. Trouble eating or feeling full quickly.
Yeah.
Feeling the need to urinate urgently or often. Yeah. Because you're doing 50 things and you're going to go in a minute, and then all of a sudden it's like, I got to go.
40 minutes.
Other symptoms can be fatigue, upset stomach or heartburn, back pain, pain during sex, constipation, or menstrual changes. All right, every lady who's listening to this, I know every one of you have had at least one of these.
Of course.
Yeah.
So how do I
more than one of them? Symptoms.
How
Yeah,
do
more.
I know when I should be concerned? So if symptoms persist for more than 2 weeks, you should see your doctor.
Yeah.
That is the recommendations. And I'm reading this to you off of the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition website. That is where I send my check every year. And so just elaborate on and tell you a few more things. 1 in 78 women will get ovarian cancer.
That is unbelievable.
70% of the time, they are diagnosed in the advanced stages of the disease when it's too late to be cured.
Right.
It's the 5th leading cause of cancer-related deaths in women. This year, 22,000 women will be diagnosed in the United States will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and 13,000 will die this year of ovarian cancer. There is no effective screening for it. A Pap smear does not look for ovarian cancer.
That's what I was going to bring out, is that a lot of women think they're protected because they're going to their regular their annual exam.
No.
Everything comes back normal. But yeah, that is not checking for that. So I think that is a very important thing for women to know. Just like doing a breast exam, you can do it at home, but you've got to get your mammograms. You know, like you've got to go to that next level.
And there's nothing like that for ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
Is there a certain age that you should start going to get a special test?
Well, the biggest risk factors are all women are at risk. Symptoms exist but can be vague, but you should get more intense over time. Even your hip. You were like, well, my hip, it'll get better. That's what we do. Things wax and wane, and then we get used to it. So is it odd or now is it normal?
Exactly.
Early detection increases the survival rate. And as I just said, Pap smear does not detect it. Risk factors include a genetic predisposition, personal or family history of breast, ovarian, or colon cancer, increasing age, and infertility. Women who were on birth control pills are less likely to develop ovarian cancer. So interestingly,
very interesting.
My best friend was never on a birth control pill. Never. So I don't know that.
I'm interested to do a little research on that and figure out why that is, because I wonder if it's because your ovaries have been fully working your whole entire fertility period.
And so these are some things that lower your risk. So the birth control pills, like I said, breastfeeding and pregnancy, giving birth to 1 or more children, but she had 3 children. Particularly delivering the first before age 25. Yep, she did. May decrease the risk. Having a tubal ligation, getting your tubes tied, that reduces the risk. And then, of course, a hysterectomy, and then healthy diet and exercise. So,
but your friend, a lot of those things.
So
she was on the list of things.
Lower risk.
So I don't want to put information in here that's invalid, but I really have to ask this because the conversation has come up, for my daughter, and figuring out which shots to get and which immunities to what do you call it? When you're trying to not get a virus, you can
vaccine.
Thank you. Couldn't think of the word. But like the HPV virus, there's a vaccine for that now, and there's some discussion around, should you do it? Are there side effects? We've all read the horror stories of, someone gets it and they die. Is that real? But I do remember the doctor saying that HPV is a major cause of women getting cancer.
So just so you know, I have a family member
Yep.
who in her mid-30s had rectal cancer from HPV virus. And
Wow.
she had an extensive surgery, chemo, and radiation, and she's doing fabulous.
Yeah.
And a couple of years, yes, and I also have another friend who had an HPV cancer. So HPV cancers are real. Yeah, I can't.
and they're
I
very
can't
common.
attest or talk about the vaccine, but I can.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but I worked in oncology for 15 years in my
I think
previous
you did
life.
tell us that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, HPV cancers are real. And the person that you might know who's famous was Michael Douglas, who had a throat cancer,
Yep.
and it was an HPV throat cancer. They do respond very well to treatment.
Yeah. So, but I think what I was asking though, and that's good to know, very good information. But I remember the doctor saying, because it is such a major cause of ovarian cancer, that's another way to be more preventative if you're younger to get it. If you don't have HPV yet, you can get the HPV vaccine.
That I don't know about if it's a HPV. There are cancers. Cancer's a broad word. Of very complicated things. There are different cell types. So you could take 3 women who have ovarian cancer, but they each may have a different cell type. And so some of them grow faster than others and respond better than others. And so, it's just a broad word.
Sure.
And you know what I want to go back to is because we were talking about, learning your heritage and learning about your relatives. I think one of the issues is so many people, especially younger people or even myself, if you don't know a lot about your family history, you don't know if you're at a higher risk.
Right.
For this.
And so if you go on the website, ovarian.org,
I'm putting the link in there too.
I got it.
That's the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition. There is a risk assessment to take. They're going to ask questions about your family history, having other kinds of cancers. And then there's the BRCA, which many people have heard about, which for breast cancer. There's also something else called Lynch syndrome. So so there's another reason it's really important to know your family history so that you can answer these questions to help with your own personal risk assessment.
Yeah,
sure.
That is because I don't know, I know a little bit about my grandparents, but not beyond that, I don't, which I think that's about all they ask is,
back to your grandparents.
Back to your grandparents.
Yeah.
But, many people don't even know that information.
Yeah.
No.
So I think that's a really important thing to people to maybe take away from this is us as parents, we should maybe collect that stuff for our children to start passing that information. Here's the medical records from our family.
Absolutely.
What we know anyway. I think that's a very important gift to kind of make sure you teach your kids. They need to pass that to their kids as well.
Of course.
Absolutely. It's very important. Earlier we talked about there's no screening test. The Pap smear doesn't do it. So make sure you're getting a pelvic exam, which all women should be doing over 18 every year. Also, women over 35 need to receive a rectovaginal exam. That is the absolute worst part of having the exam, but it's important.
It's usually when you're 40, they surprise you with that one.
Yeah. Woo!
Is it over 30? You said over 35
They're
now?
saying,
That's the age?
Women age 35 and older. A transvaginal ultrasound, and
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, and that's another
a little more evasive.
That's
invasive.
That's an invasive ultrasound. It's necessary. And then there's a blood test called a CA-125. So very often you get a false reading on that, a false high. And then you're petrified, waiting every second to have the cancer to come or whatever. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have the blood test. For women who have ovarian cancer, it's a great thing to gauge effectiveness of treatment, if it's working or not. My girlfriends, my best friends, CA-125 was never super elevated. So for her, it wasn't, a dynamite test, but it is right now. It's a great test. And so far it's what we have, that's why we're talking about this today. So we can raise awareness and raise money for research. And it's only through research, that we're going to find out, to do more. So it's not like a mammogram, and this, and I don't mean any ill will towards anyone else. I have many friends who have breast cancer, who have had breast cancer, but the stores are all loaded with breast cancer awareness, which is October. This is September. Yeah. There's nothing in the stores for ovarian cancer awareness. There's nothing anywhere. And we actively, as a country, we need to do a better job of, bringing this the forefront. Is it because it's a gynecological cancer? So
people don't want to talk about it.
It's embarrassing, or I don't know what it is, but this is,
sorry, Violet.
This is Ovarian Cancer's month, but it's already getting a backseat. Another of which also do fundraising for, but this one is, close to home.
Yeah, we learned that when last year we interviewed Elena, and her son had neuroblastoma, which is a type of pediatric cancer. Yes. And this month is Childhood Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month as well.
Yes.
And same thing. A lot of the funding goes towards one type of cancer, instead of it being delved out equally, which is not right. And the other thing, talking about the marketing aspect of it, it becomes, it's profitable for people.
Yes.
And that I can't get on board with that. It's like, no, every cent, you don't get to keep any of the money. Yeah. Like, I mean, and your production cost or whatever, but really a penny of that should not be going towards breast cancer.
Yeah.
And if you look at one of the largest fundraising organizations for breast cancer, hardly any of that money goes to breast cancer research or to help funding for patients. It's all for publicity things. It's disheartening. I think we're probably talking about the same thing.
Yeah. That's why we've said, we've posted links before and stuff on some of our shows when we have talked about this, is to really do some digging into the organization that you are donating your money. Now, look, anybody that's donating, that's coming from your heart, it's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But just make sure, because you are giving that money because you want to make a change, or you want more research, or you want to help, make sure that money's really going to what they say it's going towards.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, totally agree. There's actually some, we'll put the link in the show notes too, but there's a link out there where you can punch in the organization that you want to donate money to, and it'll tell you how legitimate they are.
Yeah, it pulls up all the stats and everything. It's, somebody's done the work basically for you already. But we'll find that.
That's a great service, Dan.
We have that from one of our past shows, and I think that is a great resource for people to have. So if they don't have the time to do the research, that would be an easy way for them to find out.
Yeah, that would be great. It's just such a scary.
Yeah, and I can see it. Your best friend, has passed for many years, but for that feeling to just come on your face of just,
Yeah. And this is how important your annual GYN exam is, ladies. Mm-hmm. My best friend, it was during that routine exam that her physician felt something. Mm. She didn't go because she was having the symptoms. And really, in the end, the only symptom she'd ever had prior to that was a little low back pain. Well, who doesn't have a little low back pain?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. The symptoms are just it's so scary, because they're the normal things that women kind of go through. Unless they're super excessive, you're not paying attention to them.
Right. Yeah, we get busy.
And like you said, even if they are excessive, it becomes, well, that's just my thing. I have hip pain. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Right. exactly.
It's written off,
But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so scary.
So that's how important that exam is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention again, this, Violet brought out some of the stats. It's 1 out of 78 women in their lifetime will get ovarian cancer. And the chances of survival are not high because of when you find out.
Yeah.
So you're not
it's
finding out
advanced.
when it's early. So, and with, we just hope that more research can be funded to get the correct measures in place to find that something to early detect.
Like standard
And
testing. It seems like
Yeah.
almost every woman just needs standard testing for it.
Yeah. And imagine this. If somebody is listening to this and they got a little scared and they went to their doctor and they were diagnosed early,
Yeah.
my God, then
Thank
wasn't
goodness.
this worth it?
Yes, it
indeed.
is. And it's okay to be a little scared sometimes because sometimes that's what we need in order to take care, that self-care, taking care of ourselves, because
Exactly.
women are bad at that. We're
We
really
are.
bad at self-care.
We put everyone ahead of us.
Uh-huh.
It's just how we are.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Mommy. Mommy.
Mom.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you notice, the cover of that book is teal.
Oh.
I love
Yeah.
that you do that so that you are
Yeah.
supporting in any way that you can
Yeah.
to draw awareness to it. And, I could see you being up in front of people speaking about this as well.
Yeah, me too.
I
Yeah.
think we've told you
I
that
just-
before. Like, you should just be in front of people speaking. Like, you have that energy and just something about you that
Well,
people really
when
believe what you have to say, like, because
great.
it's because
Coming from the
it's-
heart, you
yeah.
can tell it's authentic.
Yeah.
It is.
you can't fake that.
No, I don't think you can.
Can't fake
No.
that. That's why we love each other. That's why I love you guys. You're just so real.
Angie laughs all the time at nothing. I don't even know. Go back to some of my old
It's
videos
true
and count how many
serious.
times I laugh. I just laugh.
I always say this, but it's good energy. It's just good energy.
It is. Well,
comes
people
out.
want to be around people who are laughing and having fun.
Yeah.
Life
Right.
is too serious to be serious.
really is.
Yes.
It really is. But we did need to have that serious talk today because
We did.
we need women to be taking this more seriously.
Yeah.
And not that they don't take it seriously, but it's not, like you said, it's not in the headlines, right?
Well,
It's not in the headlines.
No, you don't. I went into Walmart and this huge section was all pink. There was no teal section.
Right.
Give me a teal section, people, so that so that one woman can walk up and say, "Oh, maybe I should read more about this." Or
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, but I know that we need to do more.
Yeah. And I feel like the facts need to be posted. Anywhere that has those ribbons on any awareness, it should come along with, here's the symptoms. Here's, you know what I mean? It should have education on it. That's kind of how
I almost
feel.
feel like screening should be sort of standard, just for
Well, of
standard
course.
physicals at a certain age.
Why can't I go to Publix and there's a teal ribbon up on that little piece of acrylic that has the symptoms on it?
Exactly.
Honestly, what does that cost?
Yeah.
Wait till the president of Publix hears from me now for next
Hey, that's
year.
a good thing, though.
Hey,
Yeah.
but it's serious. If you're looking out for your customers. That's how I feel. Like, you're looking out for your customers. Who's shopping in your store the most? The mommies.
Yeah.
So
Moms.
when it's an awareness, put that up there, and the symptoms on there would be amazing.
I agree.
See, we're gonna strive for that. That's what we need to strive for.
Yeah,
How do we get that
I
happening?
think we just put the pressure on. So I'll be
Pressure's on. That's
sending
right,
an email.
listening. So, if anybody wants to make a donation to help raise more awareness for ovarian cancer, you can visit www.ovarian.org. And that was the NOCC, the National Ovarian Cancer Coalition.
Yep.
And that's where Violet makes her donations every year. And I'm sure throughout the year, whenever you organize some event that's to help raise more awareness and money for those places.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, as always, we enjoy talking to you so much, Violet.
Yes, indeed, we do.
Thank you.
You're our two-timer.
Yeah.
Next year, let's make it 3.
3.
In person, though, please. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
In
We'll be able
person.
to hug next year.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I hope
Yes,
so. We can't wait for the world to go back to normal, you know.
Yeah.
I know. I just can't. I'm a hugger, and I just.
So same here. We both are. Yeah. So it's
I need.
Yeah, I'm behind
contact.
like 10,000 hugs. So.
Yeah.
that's kind of part of the reason we do this video thing, even if we don't post a video, because we at least have to be able to see the person that we're talking to.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Right. I get it. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's the energy still comes across, you know. I mean,
does.
talking on the phone's okay, but seeing somebody,
Yeah.
it's totally
No.
different.
I
But-
agree.
But next year, in person, Violet.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, maybe next year we'll be together at an Ovarian Cancer Awareness fundraiser.
That would be
Oh,
amazing.
that would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's right. If you put something together, you let us know. We will be there to support
We
in
absolutely
any
will.
way we can.
Thank you. What you've done tonight is just means so much to me to raise awareness and to take the time in your show to talk about this important issue.
Yes, thank you so much. We're going to continue this month to we'll post some facts and stuff together and post it on our social media
Make
too,
sure we
so
mention
we can.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pass it
And
along.
that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Violet. You have a wonderful night. We will talk to you
Okay.
soon.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Violet.
Bye.
Good night. Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining us for that interview with Violet Favero. We were so happy to see her again, to talk to her again. She is one of our very few two-time guests, and we always love talking to her, but we also love that we love everything she's doing, but we love that she's bringing such awareness to ovarian cancer this month
Yes.
and in general.
Yes. And I was just going to say I love talking with her too. So I can't wait to see her again in person. But we hope you enjoyed that interview. And hopefully it can bring some change in somebody's life.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody learned something and was able to take care of something and something.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think anytime it gets someone thinking, we don't want people to be like a hypochondriac, but it seems like for this thing specifically,
Yeah.
you know,
A little scared is okay.
You need to be.
on this, I think. Yeah, definitely. Ladies, take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. You know, not only self-care of just, making sure that you have relaxing time and stuff, but self-care like as far as your medical
Yeah.
self-care.
Exactly.
So guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Please make sure to give us a rating if you enjoy hearing what we chat about. We love to support our local businesses, artists, musicians.
Indeed we
It
do.
goes on and on. And review and subscribe if you get a chance. And, give us a call if you have a hankering to.
407-490-3899. That's a voicemail. We don't ever answer that phone, but it's a voicemail that you can leave a message. And if you'd like for us to talk about something on the show, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you have an idea for someone else that would be a good guest member on the show, you can also, so you can leave a voicemail over there for that. You could also email us at feedback@fineanddangy.com. And just like the show, that's FINEANDDANJEE.
And the same for all of our social media, guys. You can find us at Fine and DNG. And everybody, we hope you had a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And remember, at the end of each and every day, it's all fine and dandy.
Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining us for that interview with Violet
Favero, you want me to do it?
Off now. See? Isn't it? Yeah,
What?
okay. Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for joining us for that interview with Violet Favero.
Favero.
Son of a...
I thought you're hungry.
Hey guys, welcome back and thank you for that interview. Why am I... Okay, ready? Hey guys,